the JSON object. Everybody knows what is meant by JSON. At least you all of you know the long form of that JSON. What is the long form of that JSON? Yes, Ritika, Harshal, Lokesh. What is the long form of JSON?
JavaScript object notation.
JavaScript.
Object notation.
Very good. Object notation. JavaScript object notation. In JSON object, we can store your data in value and key format. Correct? Data is stored in the key and value format or value and key format. Okay. So you have to mention the key, and after that you can mention your data. Here we can create a simple JSON object. Let JSON obj, okay, equal to just I'm creating a variable name that is JSON obj. I want to access that JSON obj. So first I'm creating that object, assign just a name for the accessing purpose. So let JSON obj. What is the main JSON object is creation of a curly bracket. In that curly bracket, you can mention your key and value. Your key will be in a double quote format or without double quote. You also mentioned here. It's not any condition that key value must be in a double quote single quote format. There is no any. Sorry, just a minute. There is no any condition to mention the key as in single quote or double quote. You can, if you want to use, you can use it. If you don't want to use, just giving the key name. Okay, that key name should be in not necessary to mention the quote type. So for example, I have to here mention the key name is F name. Okay, colon. F name is your key name. Colon. After you can mention the data. For example, I'm right Sumit. Okay? It is a string data, so I'm use a single quote. If you want to use double quote, you can use it. Then you have to add one more key, comma separated. Mention the next key name. If you want to use key name as in the double quote format as well, you can mention it. Okay, there is no any hard and fast rule. JSON object is only like that things. No, don't worry about that. Okay, so in the double quote format, you can mention the name colon. After that, we can mention the name and date. If you want to one more key, comma separated, mention the, for example, ID. I'm mentioning ID is your number format, so directly you can mention the ID is 9. So ID is your last key. Don't give any comma or any last key. So it is your JSON object. Yeah, it is only a simple JSON object. Okay, so we can access that JSON object in two ways. Okay, now we create the simple JSON object. You can access a JSON object in two ways. First, use a dot operator. Second, use square operator. Okay. Both are present. If you want to dot operator, you can use a dot operator. If you want to use square operator, you can use square operator. There is no any rule that dot operator is using, square operator is using. As per your convenient, you can use it. First, we see the dot operator, how we can dot operator access it. So simply I can write here console.log. I'm using backtick operator and just to mention here using dot operator. Okay, and first I have to access the first name. So first name. I'm using a backtick operator for we use a dollar curly bracket, and fname. I have to access fname as a key. First, you have to mention the JSON object name. What is the JSON object? JSON obj that I created before. JSON obj. Use a dot operator, means use dot, and access your key. Fname, ID, lname. I want to use fname because I display the fname data on that key. Which data I have to use? We use a key name. Okay. Then last name. Again, dollar curly bracket and JSON obj dot ln. If you want to use the ID as well, dollar curly bracket JSON obj dot ID. So you will get a particular data of that key. Okay. Just check out. Okay, our file name is demo2. So tsc demo2.ts and load demo2.js. Compile and run. So using dot operator, first name, last name, ID, we can access it. Okay. These things I know that, but just for the sake of refreshing, I'm just brushing your knowledge. Square operator. How we can use a square operator? I just copy that code as well, and instead of dot, okay, you can mention a square operator. So how we can use it? We'll check it. Okay. So JSON obj use a square operator. Inside the square operator, when we use any square operator, you have to use key name in double quote format or in single quote format for the square operator. So if you're using double quote, in double quote, you mention your key name. Same as it is square bracket. I want to use a last name. I use a single quote. Okay? Both are allowed. And then L name. Okay. And next, again, JSON object, use ID, curly bracket. Okay. Okay, that part is deleted, I think. Just write down their backtick operator as well. What is the problem here? Curly bracket is remaining. Okay, fine. Curly bracket is remaining. Okay, one more curly bracket is remaining. Fine. Okay, so square operator, in that way we can use it. Here can mention the square operator. Just cross check it. Compile and run. So using square operator, we can also get the data. First name, last name, and ID. Okay. So you can use dot operator, or if you want to use square operator, you can use it. Both way is there. Whatever the way you have to implement, you can use it for the JSON object. Clear these things? Everybody?
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, Sumit.
Fine. Now we proceed array of object. So array of object. The name implies array, and then object. So you have to create first array. Inside that array, you can create a JSON object. Sorry, let ARR obj. For example, I'm giving the ARR obj now name, and we can use array square bracket. We can array of object. Of object means it create a JSON object. A JSON object is simply curly bracket. In that curly bracket, we can mention the key and value format. For example, f name, and we can send. We can write down the good name. So me. Then L name is a key. And we can mention the ID as well. 9. Okay, that is my one JSON object. If you want create multiple JSON object because it is in a array. In the array, there is no any limitation. So you can create inside that many more object. So it is called array of a object, because when at the time of your backend, multiple data has to return in the collection format. That is internally it created a array of object and returning your front end. So at the time of front end, we have to just check out that is a array of object or object, and according to that we have to parsing or take the data from it. So multiple JSON object here. I just here mention the name Kiran and mention the ID 6. One more data I can here use just demo purpose. So you can mention the name Spruha, mention the third. Okay. So you can create multiple JSON object inside that. Then if I want to access that array of object, how we can access it? Again, use a square operator or use a dot operator. Two operators is there. You want to use any approach, dot operator or a square operator. So I'm just use console.log. Okay. But if you want to access array of object full access, means every element's data you have to display to the end user. For that, we use a for loop. If you display only particular data, then we can, with the help of index, you can access it, that particular object data. But if you want to rendering or display all data to the end user, for that we use a for loop, or we can use implement for, and we use simply let I 0, then I less than, here are obj dot length. Okay, then I plus plus curly bracket. Inside that we can use only a console.log, means I want to print the data. If you want to perform any operation, for that you also use a for loop. Simply console.log, you can use it here. We use a backtick operator. Mention here the first name, dollar curly bracket. How we can access that data? Yes, tell me. Yes, Kritika, please. How we can access? Here or obj, square bracket. In the square bracket, mention the index. That is a I. Okay. Then we use a dot operator. Dot. The key name is fname. Same. Last name. Then dollar curly bracket. Same. Here or obj of I dot L name. Correct, Kritika? Kritika, are you online with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now tell me how we can access ID. Yes, Kritika.
Array object,
Yes. After that,
square bracket I,
very good.
dot ID.
Very good. Okay, fine. So it display your all data. That is a JSON object. Every JSON object data, it will be displayed. Sumit, Kiran, Spruha. Okay, because we are using a for loop. Just cross check it. Compile and run. So first name, last name, ID. Again, first name, last name, ID. First name, last name, ID. All JSON object data we can collect it, parse it, and display. Okay. Understand these things, everybody?
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, Sumit.
Okay. Just now we can modify that array of object. We can add. This is a very simple JSON object, basically array of object. But in industry, we cannot. We work on complex array of object. Okay. So just make it that. For example, I have to, can you create a array inside the object? Can we create array inside the object? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Can you guide me, please? Anybody? How we can create the array? Mention the array value inside a JSON object. Anybody? Lokesh, Harshal, Srivasan.
Plus me.
Yes, yes, Amit. Yes.
In first name, just use square bracket and mention the your values.
Okay. Means you can just key name first,
Sorry.
correct?
Yes, square bracket
And you mention
and
the
January,
what? Yes, whatever the
January,
data is. Very good.
comma.
Very good, Hamid. Then Feb and for example, March. Okay. So we can create in every JSON object that key as an array. Okay. And we can just mention here the value is May, December, and mention here is August. Mention Feb, April, and mention June. If I want to access that month array, can you access in that for loop? Or if you want to access that month, we require one more for loop, or we can access within that for loop.
You can access it one within the form.
Access it within the for loop. Yes. Okay. Please guide me how you can access. How you can access?
Array object. Square bracket of I.
Very good.
Dot month.
Very good.
Square bracket. Then I.
Okay, fine. What about other that Hamid told that air object of I dot month dot or we can mention the I. So what about others? Is it correct or you have to add something? Anand, Arjun, Kritika, Krishna, Hamid, sorry, Lokesh, Omkar, Harshal, yes, Harshal. Sagar, Harshal, yes, Harshal.
Sumit, is I is necessary?
I is mandatory. Your
That's
voice
what
is.
I'm asking. Is I is necessary?
Your voice is breaking, Srinivas. Okay, please, others. Whether it is necessary.
No.
Srivasan, you chat that one question. I is necessary, but where? I is necessary means you have to accept, you have to ask here or here.
If I is there means it only specify the feb or something in zero index. No, and it was 0.
Okay, if you are mentioning here I, then we will get only 0 index value, correct?
Yes,
yes, but what is our requirement? I don't want to only 0 index data. I want full array. I want to access full array, correct? Yes or no?
Yes.
Need to iterate that.
So for that, what is why we means what provision we have to use if you want to display full month array? So you can just giving the month as a name, no? Yes or no? See what you learned last demo 1.5. Check out here. C is a array. So I'm just printing console.log C, whether I'm using any for loop for this display purpose.
No.
No. So same like that here. No? Month is the array. I want only display. I don't want to any perform any operation. If you want to perform any operation, then you require a for loop. That is correct. But only display purpose, there is no need any I or anything. You can just mention your array name. Okay.
Okay, Sumit.
Okay, okay, fine. So let's check out whether it is correct or not. See this? Month is also display, January, Feb, March. If you want to perform any operation, obviously you can use a for loop. If you want to access only particular Jan, Feb, then yes, then your answer is correct that you have to use a for loop. If only display purpose, if you want to rendering only data to the end user, you don't want to need any performing any operation, so then you can directly use that month. As well as you can add join method as well, because month is an array. So can we use join? Yes, you can, because month is an array. So in the, join is an array method. In the demo 1, TSF we learned. So another question is, sir, Sumit, can we use a splice method as well? Yes, you can. You can use slice method as well. You can use map. Yes, you can use map as well. We can use a push pub. Yes, you can. So whatever array method is present, you can access it here itself as well. Okay, because basically it is an array. So for example, I'm just passing space separated. I'm using join method and check out that. Compile and run. See, month. Initially it is separated, it is comma separated. Right now I'm mentioning a particular separator. There is a double space, white space. So it added the white space in Jan, Feb, March, May, December, August, Feb, April, June. Okay. Clear these things, everybody?
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, Sumit.
Yes.
Fine. So now just we make it more complex. Can we create the object inside the object?
Yes.
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, correct. So we create a country. Okay, this is a key name, and we create object. So I want to create a JSON object. So we create a curly bracket. Okay, means we create object inside the object. And for example, I giving the CID. CID is a, for example, 1, and then CNAME. CNAME is a country name. It is a standard. If your key name is a country, then its respective key name should be first your key name, that is C shortcut, and then ID. That is a standard of using a name for any object inside object. Not necessarily follow that standard. If you want to use only ID here, you can give it in your. It is dependent upon your backend developer. What key name the backend developer is mentioned. Okay, according to that, front-end developer has to use that key name. Front-end developer don't have any give any new key name. Okay, because already backend API is developed, and backend developer mentioned that key name in your entity class. So whatever the key name mentioned in that entity class, that keys you have to use in your front end. Okay. So we assume that in the backend we use CID and CNAME. According to that, we have to use here. Then, okay, we can use India, Mera Bharat. Then we can mention the country, most affectionable country. That is the US. Then next, mentioned sorry, CID 3, Japan, most disciplined country. Okay, India, US, Japan. We can, okay, country. So I want to access that country name. I don't access country ID. Can we access? Yes, you can access within that for loop as well. Okay. For example, country name. Okay. So dollar curly bracket AR or OBJ of I, because first you are array dot country. Country is your object. Again, you can use a dot and access a C name, that is a country name. Then you will get the output. Compile and run. See, country, each object we get the country India, US, Japan. So you can create an object inside the object and access it in that way. Clear these things, everybody?
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, Sumit.
Yes, Sumit.
Very good. Can we create an array of object inside the object? Harshal? Yes, Amit.
Yes.
Can we create array of object inside the object?
Yes.
Okay, so can we? Yes, we can create. So result, it is a array of objects. Array of object symbol is square bracket. Inside the square bracket, you can create multiple JSON object. Okay, so we can create here simply key name is result, subject. I'm using shortcut key subject. In engineering career, there is a one more subject is a M1. There is a most likable subject, I think. And we get very good mark initially, because in the first year we are very means newly born baby like that in first year. Then in the second semester we have another subject that is M2. Now somewhat we can improve only 45. This is a general scenario. Extraordinary student has different things. And in the third year we get again M3. And now at the second year we can know how we can queue the paper and how we can use it. So in that, just increase at 10, not more than. These are my mark sheet as well. I got it in that fashion. What about you? I don't know, but maybe it like same or it may be different. Okay. Kiran, okay. Most of the lady student maybe not she gets more mark maybe because there are very sincere students in the third year. You get it. You can create one more array of object here. Sorry. Okay. Comma separate. And here also we can give. Oh, I think in engineering career I never got this above 70. Never. I think anybody has got about 80 in your engineer current, any subject mark?
Yes.
I did not get anything.
On lab we did.
Okay, fine. Okay, now this is an array of object. Again, it is an array. So if I want to access that result, can we possible within that console.log we can access that result, because result is an array of object. So we have to create one more for loop. Okay, inside that for loop means I have to create here because I want to access that result of particular JSON object data. or we create a for loop. Inside we can create it again same. If you want to use for each loop, you can use for each loop as well. Not a compulsion key you are using one for loop, so that is a only use case for the for. No, you can use for each also. From your homework, you can use for each as well. Okay. So here we use let j 0, then j less than. Now here mentioned the length ARR obj first, that ARR obj of I, correct? Then dot your key name is result, and result is array of object. So again dot use length and j plus plus. Fine. And now you can access console.log. Sorry, you can access console.log, and I'm using here. Okay, and just for the formatting purpose, I mentioned here display appropriately, and here we can use the result, that is a subject and marks. Okay, so subject dollar curly bracket. How we can access AR obj? First we have to access AR obj of I. Then dot result. Result is also array of object. Again square bracket. Use a j. Okay, and on that we can use a dot operator. Use a subject. Same as well. You can access the marks as well. Marks. Dollar curly bracket. Again AR obj of I. Sorry, I dot result is a array of object. Use a j dot marks as a key. So you will get every JSON object data. Okay, I'm right for loop inside that for loop. I'm not mentioning for loop inside that console.log. There is no any syntax available. Okay, so I'm console.log is a separate. In the, we can make it another for loop and display that value as well. So check out this is working correctly or not. Compile and run. So see, first name Sumit, the data is will get the result, as well as second object Kiran will get the data, and third JSON object is Pruha, and you will get the result as well. Okay, so you can make it just array of object, means lot of combination is available. I'm just few of you here mentioned here. Also you can make inside that country, you can create one more array, means there is no limit. Okay, so same like your Amazon also tagline or the same like